The wreck of the RMS Titanic, resting deep beneath the North Atlantic Ocean, is one of the most famous and emotionally significant sights in the world. Since the ship sank in 1912 after striking an iceberg, it has become a symbol of both human ambition and tragic loss. When the wreck was discovered in 1985 by Robert Ballard, it opened the door to exploration and research. However, it also sparked a debate that continues to this day. Should people be allowed to visit the Titanic wreck? For many, the Titanic is more than just a shipwreck. It is considered a memorial site, the final resting place of more than 1,500 people who lost their lives in the sinking of the RMS Titanic. Because of this, some experts argue that the site should be treated with the same respect as a cemetery. They believe that visiting or disturbing the wreck could be seen as disrespectful to those who died. On the other hand, there are those who believe that exploring the Titanic is important for historical and scientific reasons. They argue that studying the wreck helps us understand the events that led to the disaster and allows us to preserve its story for future generations. Without exploration, much of what we know about the Titanic today would remain a mystery. The debate has become more intense in recent years, with the rise of private expeditions and tourism. Some companies have offered trips to the Titanic wreck for wealthy individuals, allowing them to travel in specialized submersibles to the ocean floor. These trips are extremely expensive and often marketed as once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Supporters of these expeditions argue that they provide funding for research and help raise awareness about the Titanic. They also point out that modern technology allows these visits to be conducted safely and with minimal impact on the wreck. However, critics strongly disagree. They argue that turning the Titanic into a tourist destination is inappropriate and disrespectful. They believe that the site should be protected from unnecessary human interference, and that commercializing the wreck diminishes its historical significance. Another concern is the physical impact of these visits on the wreck itself. The Titanic is already in a fragile state due to corrosion, bacterial activity, and the extreme conditions of the deep ocean. The presence of submersibles and exploration equipment can potentially cause damage, especially if they come into contact with the structure. There have also been discussions about the removal of artifacts from the Titanic. Some expeditions have recovered items from the wreck and displayed them in museums. While this has helped educate the public, it has also raised ethical questions about whether these objects should remain at the site. International laws and agreements have been developed to address some of these concerns. Governments and organizations have worked together to create guidelines for how the Titanic should be treated. These guidelines aim to balance the need for research with the importance of preserving the site. Despite these efforts, enforcement of these rules can be difficult due to the remote location of the wreck. The Titanic lies in international waters, making it challenging to regulate all activities at the site. This has led to ongoing debates about how best to protect it. Public opinion on the issue is divided. Some people are fascinated by the idea of visiting the Titanic and see it as a way to connect with history. Others feel that such visits cross a line and show a lack of respect for those who lost their lives. The media has also played a role in shaping this debate. Documentaries, news reports, and films have brought attention to both the beauty and the tragedy of the Titanic. These portrayals often influence how people view the ethics of visiting the wreck. In addition to ethical concerns, there are also significant risks involved in deep-sea expeditions. The extreme depth and pressure of the ocean make these missions dangerous. Equipment failures or unexpected conditions can pose serious challenges, even for experienced teams. The controversy over visiting the Titanic reflects a broader question about how we treat historical sites. Around the world, there are many places that hold deep emotional and cultural significance. Deciding how to balance access, preservation, and respect is not always easy. In the case of the Titanic, this balance is particularly delicate. The wreck is both a valuable source of historical information and a solemn reminder of a tragic event. Finding a way to honor both aspects is a challenge that continues to evolve. As technology advances, it may become easier to explore the Titanic without physically disturbing it. High-resolution imaging, 3D scanning, and virtual reality experiences could allow people to experience the wreck without traveling to the ocean floor. These innovations may help reduce the need for direct visits. The story of the Titanic continues to capture the imagination of people around the world. Its legacy is shaped not only by the events of 1912, but also by how we choose to remember and study it today. The controversy over visiting the Titanic wreck is unlikely to be resolved anytime soon. It is a complex issue with strong arguments on both sides. What remains clear is that the Titanic is more than just a shipwreck. It is a powerful symbol of history, loss, and human curiosity. As we continue to explore and learn from the Titanic, it is important to approach the site with respect and responsibility. Whether through direct exploration or advanced technology, the goal should be to preserve its story while honoring the memory of those who are part of it. In the end, the question of whether visiting the Titanic is right or wrong depends on how we choose to balance curiosity with respect. The answer may differ from person to person, but the importance of treating the site with care is something that most people can agree on.